What a gorgeous spring day. Absolutely beautiful. Welcome to my channel, In Search of Wonder. My name is Anne, and we're going to see what I get up to this week in my weekly wonderings and wanderings. We'll see what I get up to. Oh my goodness, what is that bird? Can you see it? Oh, it flew away. Okay, wow. I've not seen a bird like that around here. It's like, it looked like the sort of bird you might see by the water. I mean, we have a creek over there, but I mean like a pond or a lake or reservoir or something. Anyway, so this week, it's Friday. I'm starting this vlog a day early because I finished my previous week a day early. Anyway, I'm a little bit off schedule, but that's okay. We'll get back on schedule this week. I am expecting a fairly normal week this week with school, maybe some flag football, and some other things going on, but normal stuff. Nothing exciting. I am going to start buddy reading with Alma on Monday. At the moment, the title of the book escapes me. So anyways, I know that book, whatever that book is, is going to be on my schedule next week. But today, I just purchased the Kindle version of Seeking Persephone by Sarah M. Eden to join in with Taylor's read along and watch along. And I have a couple of days before I have to start reading the book with Alma, and I had finished the book I was working on already, so I have 3 days to read Seeking Persephone, and I'm hoping to read it over this weekend and then get started on the next book with Alma. That's my plan. We'll see what happens. I also hope to pick up something else in there along the way to read. I usually have several books going. Right now I'm only thinking like one at a time, but I'll pick up something in there somewhere. Something else. We'll see. I don't know yet what. But right now I have to head off to my appointment, and if I have any downtime in the doctor's office, I'm going to start reading Seeking Persephone. A friend sent me some cuttings from her garden. She sent me these Solomon seal, which I had never heard of, but I planted them in my backyard, and honestly this soil is not great. We have to work on this soil, but it's doing really well. It's grown so much since she gave it to me. And then also I bought this Virginia bluebell when we were on spring vacation at the Winter Tour House and Gardens, and it's doing really well also. So I'm very happy about that. And the deer haven't discovered my hosta yet, so we need to spray them before they do. But that's sprouting up really nicely as well. I just love this time of year and all the new growth. My peony has shot up like crazy. This thing grows so fast. I love it. I need to get more because I love this plant. This is so good. That berry blast tea that I got last week at the farmer's market, iced. It's not even that hot today, but I wanted something refreshing to drink. It was supposed to be hot today, but that didn't happen. I don't know why. Anyway, I am going to fix my dinner while I tell you about Seeking Persephone. I ran into the grocery store earlier today and picked up a package of ciabatta rolls that were marked down, and I was like, oh, I can find something to do with those for dinner. And not having a great deal of inspiration myself, I turned to the interwebs and found a promising looking recipe for grilled cheese that specifically is made with ciabatta rolls and has like a garlic butter spread that sounds actually amazing. I'm going to do that, but it requires me to grate the cheese for the innards of the grilled cheese sandwich. So I am going to do that while I tell you about Persephone, Seeking Persephone. So as the name suggests, this book by Sarah Eden, I believe, is a retelling of the story of the Greek myth Hades and Persephone. And it's set in Regency England, but in the north of England. So the colder, more remote part. And there's like this guy who has like 5 different titles or whatever, Duke and an Earl, whatever. And then an impoverished girl who they get married sight unseen for reasons. There are some Beauty and the Beast elements to the story as well, because I'm not sure if that was intentional or if it's just there happened to be similarities between those stories, but I was catching Beauty and the Beast vibes as well. So Persephone goes to live in this duke's castle, but to put it mildly, he's a little bit difficult to get along with. That's being kind to him. And so it's about how their marriage of convenience, their arranged marriage, how it works out for better or for worse, and their struggles to connect to each other. And there's a lot of character growth because Adam, who is the Hades character, he has a lot to unpack from his childhood. Things that he doesn't even realize he's never dealt with. Like, he thinks he's doing fine, but he doesn't realize like how much he's actually hindering his own self as well as any relationships that he has with other people because of the way that he behaves towards people. And he also has like this fear of intimacy, by which I mean like, you know, a close personal relationship with someone. He doesn't let people get too close, with the exception of his friend Harry. And the book goes into the reasons why they are friends and why Harry sticks around. That's my little oven song. It's heated all the way. So, yeah, so we go on this journey. Particularly, Adam has a lot of character development. Persephone to a lesser extent, but Adam for sure. And it's just, in the end, it's really sweet how it all works out. There is a part of the story that I wasn't 100% sure about how plausible it was. I think that the author was trying to pull into the story the hellhounds from the Greek myth, but the setting in England maybe wasn't so conducive to that, and so she made these wild dog wolf creatures, and it maybe wasn't quite 100% plausible the way that worked into the story. But in the end, like, it was fine. Like, it didn't ruin it for me. It was just a little bit like, okay, all right. The actual writing was great. I was really rooting for these characters. I was really wanting them to overcome the complications of their relationship and just find common ground. And I was rooting for Adam to heal from some of the hurt, you know, from his past. And I was really enjoying it. I think when it comes to, you know, your run-of-the-mill romance novel, this one is a little bit above the rest because of the depth of the characters and the layers that we have with the whole Greek mythology story and how she chose to interpret that and, dare I say, improved on it. So overall, I really enjoyed it. I would give it 3.5, maybe 4 stars. Easily, like a round up to 4 that it deserves. You know, sometimes like I round up to 4 on Goodreads, and from 3.5, and I'm like, I don't know if you really deserve that, but I'm gonna do that. So this time, I felt like it was deserved, the rounding up to 4, just because it is a little bit above the rank and file, so to speak, of Regency novels. I read that as a group read or read along with Taylor at Tales and Treats with Tay. She set up a Discord with that, which I think you could probably still join if you want to. And I think it's going through April. And at the end of April, beginning of May, we're going to watch the recent adaptation of this book, which is going to take 2 evenings because it's a series. I think there are 4 episodes maybe. So we're going to watch that. I'm looking forward to watching the movie version of it, or whatever it is, TV version, I don't know.
Anyway, I think it will be really good. We all enjoyed the book to one extent or another. I think it probably landed in the 3.5, 4-star range for most of us, for different reasons. There were different things about it that were drawbacks to each of us who have been reading it so far in the group. But by and large, like, we all enjoyed it as a book, and we were all rooting for the characters and engrossed in the story. I read it over the weekend, really enjoyed it. So, what am I doing now? That is an excellent question. I haven't read much. Well, okay, I haven't read anything today. I finished Seeking Persephone late last night, and I haven't read anything today. I haven't even picked up anything. So I have a complete blank slate. What will I do with that? First of all, I know that Alma and I are supposed to start our buddy read of These Healing Hills by Anne Gephardt today, and that will go for Jeanette's Christian Fiction Bingo prompt for April, which is to read a book with a medical character, like someone in the medical field. So I'm going to buddy read that with Alma. I'm going to start that today. I don't know what pace I'll be reading that. And other than that, I have the prompt for Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge, which is to read a book with a conjunction in the title. And I kind of wanted to read The Rose and the Thistle for that because I've been wanting to read it for a while, and it's been on my TBR a couple times. I just haven't gotten to it. So that one I'm leaning towards, but also I have a couple of other options for that. One is When We Were Young and Brave by Hazel Gaynor. And then for Alma's reading challenge, the prompt is to read a book at sea, and I have a couple options for that as well. A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice is one, and there's a Hazel Gaynor one for that as well. So I have all of those options that are on the table for me to pick from. So I will likely go with one of those because those are the ones that I need, quote unquote, to get read in April for my different challenges. And those are ones I'm very interested in. I already read my People April book, and also that went for my Reading the Classics challenge, which was 12 Years a Slave by Solomon Northup. But I may also pick up Laura by Donald Zuckert, which is about Laura Ingalls Wilder. But that only after I've read some of these other books. So definitely These Healing Hills. I'll start with that today. What else will I pick up at some point this week? I have no idea. So, find out.
A Canadian goose in my backyard? That's new. Don't remember ever seeing you here before, buddy.
Hello. It is Thursday afternoon, and I realized I haven't done a clip recently. Haven't updated y'all on my reading choices, what I am reading this week. And now is a good time because my family is, I think, on their way home from a flag football game. Our season is over, but my older son is coaching the middle school team together with my husband. And so They had to go to the middle school game, and I couldn't go because I had stuff at work to do. Anyway, also I went grocery shopping, and when I was at Sprouts, which one of my favorite things to do is to walk around Sprouts and just see what kind of markdowns they have and what kind of things are on sale and buy those things. And sometimes I only walk out with a handful of things, and sometimes, like today, I loaded up my cart and I got a lot of great deals. And for dinner, I picked up some packages of their roasted chicken from their deli. It was buy one, get one half off. And then they had these marked down bags of veggies for 99 cents. And then I hopped over to Trader Joe's and got the frozen fettuccine Alfredo. So that is going to be our dinner tonight. Easy, and it should be ready by the time they're home. So while I am prepping everything, let me tell you what I read this week, or what I picked up to read. I haven't finished anything since my last clip, but I did pick up 2 books. Alma and I started buddy reading These Healing Hills, which I have the hardest time saying that title. I don't know why I keep mixing up the vowels. And anyway, it's hard to say. Try saying it 5 times fast. These Healing Hills. Really enjoying it. I have read a couple things by Anne Gabhart, but not recently. And I've always wanted to read more. In particular, there was a YA series, or it may have been a one-off book. I only read one, but I thought it had 1 or 2 books after that one. I'm not 100% sure about that. But it was set in the 60s, I think, and it was like YA. But it was really good, and I don't normally like YA, but I thought it was really well done and loved it. Loved her writing style. And then I read one other, maybe it was called The Angel Sister, and that was set in the time period, I think, following World War I. I don't know, but anyway, this one, These Healing Hills, is really interesting because of the setting. It's set in Kentucky just after World War II. Like, we're just at the end of World War II as the book begins. And there is a midwifery school in Kentucky that was started in the early 1900s. Well, originally it was called Frontier Nursing Center or Services or something. And so there would be frontier nurses who would go into the mountains there in Kentucky and nurse the people who lived there. And also they had like a hospital base where people could come to there. And they also offered midwife services. Apparently, the woman who started this service, and I don't know the ins and outs of this. I don't know much about midwifery, although I had midwives for both of my boys. But apparently, in this woman's opinion, Breckenridge, I think her name was, only the English did true, correct, whatever, midwifery. So she brought them over from England. But then when World War II started, they all went back home because they wanted to be home, understandably. And then she started her own school, like a graduate school. So our main character, Francine, she is going to that school to become a midwife. She gets like a hands-on training. And so she's living in a small nursing center with another nurse in the woods, in the mountains, and they travel by horse or by foot to bring medical care to the people in that community. So such an interesting element of history, and it's this nursing center and this frontier nursing services, whatever, is all historically accurate. Our primary characters are fictional, but that setting and that school and everything is actual, like it's based on fact. And the Mrs. Breckenridge character is in the story. She's an actual person, which adds an interesting layer to it. Interesting blend of fact and fiction. I am really enjoying it. It took me a minute, to be honest, to get a little bit used to the writing style because it's a little bit like choppy, especially I felt at the beginning. I think once I got into the rhythm of it, I didn't notice it as much, but I didn't like it at first. But quickly got into the story, and now Alma and I are reading 5 chapters a day, and it's not enough. I want to read more. I want to keep going. And then the other book that I picked up is A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice, and both of these are on my Kindle. Well, they're both through Hoopla, through the library. And so these Healing Hills goes with Jeanette's Christian Fiction Bingo because it is about a healthcare professional and it is historic fiction, so my favorite genre. So it covers both those prompts for April. And then A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice is for Alma's Journey Through Time challenge, the At Sea prompt for April. And so I'm knocking both of those with these books. And The Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice is really cool because it's about the Titanic. So you have the perspective of one passenger on the Titanic and her traveling companions. And then you have the perspective of the captain of the Carpathia. And the Carpathia was a ship that responded to the distress call of the Titanic and came to their aid. And so it's a really interesting perspective. And I didn't know anything about this ship, Carpathia, and I find that really interesting. I do think that the writing is, I'm going to be a little bit blunt here, it's a little amateur in my opinion. And there's a lot of telling rather than showing. And I particularly when we get from the captain's perspective. From the girl's perspective, her name is Kate. When we get her perspective, it's actually, that part I feel is better written. And I'm a little bit more engrossed in the story and more, engaged. But with the captain, it just seems a little bit like there's a little bit of info dumping sometimes. And there's like, it's telling me what he's thinking and how he's feeling, but it's not putting me in that situation. And I'm a little bit distanced from it and a little bit less engaged. And I can see, like, I'm observing from a distance that he's like a really good guy and there's a lack of engagement. So that half of, like, and it flips every other chapter, the perspective. So that half is not my favorite. And yet it is a vital perspective because it's a huge part of the story that the author is telling. So that, however, is just a little bit of a drawback. Like, it's good, and I'm enjoying it. And I don't know that there's any other book, like a fictional novel like this out there on this particular subject. So options might be limited, but I am enjoying it enough to keep reading. And it's the part where Titanic actually finally sinks and describing the passengers on the lifeboats who are hoping for someone to come and rescue them. That part was really well done. I really felt like I was there, and that was very harrowing time there, and I really enjoyed that part of the story in particular. And so now we're getting to the point where the Carpathia has come up to the site of the Titanic sinking and is starting to pick up the lifeboats with the passengers in them. So that is very interesting, and I'm enjoying it. So those are the 2 things I'm reading this week. I think I will finish The Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice this week. I'm almost halfway through, so I should have an update on that over the next couple of days to share with you, and who knows what I'll pick up after that. So that's what I've got going on. I'll see you next time. I am exhausted. It is 11:15 now, and since around 8:30, I guess, my husband and I have been doing yard work, thinning our daffodils and tulips and conditioning the soil in the gardens in our backyard because it's terrible. And it was very productive, but it is very hot now, and I am feeling like
I could sleep for the rest of the day. That's what I'm feeling like. And also, I am so close to finishing A Brilliant Night of Stars and Ice. I will definitely finish it today. I was hoping to finish it before I made this final clip, but that did not and will not happen. So I am enjoying it overall. I'm really engrossed in the story because, I mean, it's a very dramatic story. And I think overall, like, I think the author was smart in choosing to focus on a few characters because there are a lot of characters potentially involved. And she brings in a couple brief characters here and there, but they're not, like, you don't have to remember them significantly. You just, you know, they contribute to the story, but you don't have to remember them per se. So I think she chose wisely with that. And the course of the story, I think that she chose wisely. And there were some parts that are really just super well done. Like, you feel like you're there in the middle of the action and experiencing it. And I'm really interested and engaged. So that's ultimately what you want for a book. I just do feel like some of the storytelling is, the narration style is just more on the side of telling rather than showing. And especially when we come to the perspective of the captain, like I said before, it's a lot more informative, even though you're supposed to be experiencing his emotions with him, and it does, you know, get into his emotions and what he's feeling and thinking. I don't know, it's just like you're looking at it from a distance. But I've said all that already, so I won't go any further into that. I'll wrap this up now and say I will have it finished by later today, but you will have to hear my final thoughts in my vlog next week. So that's it. I hope you all are having a lovely week, and I hope you are going to have a great week this week. And let me know in the comments what you are up to as far as reading goes, and any thoughts about what I was reading, etc. And if you are not up to leaving a comment, you can just put in a little flower emoji, because this has been all about the flowers and the birds and the deer, apparently, this week. That's been the subject of the week. So have a lovely day and a lovely week, and I will see you next time. Bye.